fend for themselves or get their food in this kind of manner. They get goaded to themselves, get hand-fed. They do have favorite fish, that's for sure. We do feed a variety here. Mostly what's at Africa with people in here. They get squid, whitebait, silverside, smelt, a lot of other different stuff. And they do definitely have bait. A lot of them don't like the whitebait, they'll spit it out. Our big boy, Bogart, loves squid. He will just attack somebody else to get it. It's just kind of funny to see them be picky about what fish they get. We do try and feed all of our animals good, or at least offer that to them. They don't drink the salt water they live in, so they get all of the water they need from the food that they eat. So getting squid is kind of like eating watermelon or cantaloupe. They're all naturally high water content. But not all of them. They don't necessarily need it. There's a couple, like one or two inside. You see, here's the pups. They don't care about the fish. They're just everyone's getting on the side.
One girl is so annoying. Whoa.
Well, they've all had their different methods of trying to get fish from people. Normally during when our park is open, people can buy fish and feed out there.
Okay.
So a lot of people, everyone wants to feed the big one. Not anymore. And then I like to hear them bark. And so a lot of them have learned if they bark, they don't have to be up in the frenzy. They can be way out there if people talk. These are all very well fed felines. I just get excited about food no matter how much.
Oh my God, shut up.
They do have to get, the felines do have to get so nice. They all stake out here and they'll pile on top of each other. Sometimes they'll argue about space, particularly the moms and their pups. And they'll just like occasionally just go off like right whose space is yours. The seals actually because they're a little easier to see on stage, a little bit more impressive to look at up there. What you heard just now is an exchange between a mother and her pup. Moms have a certain sound they call out for their pup, and the pups have a certain sound they call out for mom. And they each recognize that noise. It does change year to year. It's kind of almost like a name that they use to communicate with each other, to kind of check in. The pup can use it to call out and cry for food or for, a lot of different things. And then the mom can use it just to check in with people. Our boy has a pretty interesting. Our male is that big glove on the bottom right now. He'll have to come up for breath in a little bit, so we can kind of hang out here and wait to see the difference. We use. Oh, there he comes. Oh, he's swimming away. There he is. You see that really big forehead. Well, we're gonna get to feed him, so when we get out the fish, he will definitely be up here. He is around 900 to 1,000 pounds. Pretty big there. We do use all boys in our training program in our shows, and that is because of that social structure. If you have girls and guys together, the boys are going to do nothing but fight over the fear nets, so it doesn't work very well. So we either had to have all girls or all boys, and teach them how to interact with each other. Sea lions, unlike seals, are very social animals. They tend to live in big groups, big families. Their groups consist of one male. The males fight for territory and for the females in their group. And then up to 16 females in all of their pups. So it can be quite a crowd. We don't have quite that many in here, but we do have a few. See all of our pups. They're all drinking milk right now, so the fish is not really interesting to them at all. But they're really starting to get big and a lot more energetic. I start off like our infants, they pretty much sleep and eat for most of the time. They learned how to swim at about 2 weeks old. They were pretty awkward at first. They hung very close to that little blue slide out there. And they did a lot of moving their body without very much moving in the water. Now they've really figured it out. They're pretty excellent swimmers. They can dive off the rocks. They can swim all around the pool very quickly. They're really pretty amazing how fast they've learned. The milk they get from their mothers is 30% fat.
Blew out or farted, I don't know.
Oh, blow bubbles.
Okay.
So blow bubbles in their mouth. Just like if you're swimming underwater for a long time, you'll just release some of your air out of your mouth. And some of them like to blow bubbles and then play with the bubbles. So, a game too. The milk they get from mom is 30% fat. The whole milk you get from the store from a cow is 5% fat, just in the comparison. So they do end up putting on weight pretty quickly. Average size at birth is about 13 pounds. So they've all put on some weight. They're not more blubbery right now.
They look small, but I bet they're really heavy.
And they kind of probably like almost like a pig or something.
Yeah.
It looks tiny, but they're pretty dense. And just like all of the whales and dolphins, they have that layer of blubber that helps keep them warm, streamlined, energy reserves. This is one of our female sea lions. Yes, hello. The females, as you can see probably from meeting some of our guys yesterday, do look a little bit different. We do have one male in this pool. We'll kind of go around and see where he's hanging out right now. But the females are much smaller and they have a very flat head. It takes about 4 females put together to equal the size of a male. This is one of our 1-year-olds born from last year, so she's still not grown up yet. But usually you don't see the females get over 250 pounds. While our males will hang anywhere from 450 to 900 or more. Our biggest male is in this pool right now. He's one of our breeder males, so he doesn't do our shows. The testosterone in the sea lion's body also makes their forehead or the crest in their skull very large. It's kind of like comparing a lab's head to a greyhound's head as far as what the females and males look like. This is my favorite harbor seal. I think she's the cutest thing. She's got the sweetest little face.
Yeah, leopard spots.
Yep, the harbor seal is a very common seal. You can find them all over the northern hemisphere as long as it's not too hot or too cold. They're pretty much everywhere. You can kind of see some of the differences between a seal and a sea lion looking at them next to each other here. The sea lions have those long front flippers because that's what they use to propel themselves through the water. They flap those long front flippers like a bird. They're also able to put their back flippers underneath their body. You can kind of see them, they've been walking around on all fours. So it looks kind of more like a dog when they're up on the beaches. That way they can inhabit those really rocky coastlines all along the west coast of the U.S. As the seal, you see this guy doing down here, they move their back flippers from side to side to move through the water. And when they're up on the land, their pelvis is fused, so they're not able to put their back flippers underneath their body. They're the ones that you see kind of scooching along or rolling. So they need pretty sandy, pretty smooth beaches. They can't really get too high up onto this rock area. Whereas the sea lions are a little bit more agile in land. They both, even though they swim in different ways, can reach similar speeds, about 12 miles per hour or so. They both can go pretty fast if they'd like to. The sea lions hold their breath for about 10 minutes underwater. The seals can stay under typically for longer. The harbor seals can hold their breath, on average the max amount is 28 minutes.